It's perfection. Oh my God. Ah, so good. You have to make the sauce, guys, okay? I'm telling you. Hello, it's been a minute since we've been in the kitchen together, and I had the itch to cook today because I've been eating a lot more of my meals at home lately, and it is finally summer in LA, so the produce has been different, and that always inspires me to kind of eat seasonally and switch up what I've been eating. I must say, I am a creature of habit, so the way that I usually eat is I kind of cycle through different groups of foods that I'm really into, and I'll eat them repetitively until I replace them with new meals that I hyperfixate over. So I'm not really a meal prep girl, but there are certain things that I like to make every single week that make my dishes a lot easier to throw together, and it kind of cuts out some of the prep time without fully preparing the meal in advance. These are 3 things that I make every single week, things that I've been obsessed with as of late, and I figured we could turn this into a series, and maybe I'll do this every couple of weeks, every couple of months, whenever the fixations kind of change. Everything we're making is super easy to put together. We're gonna be making a hummus, just very classic. I love the hummus because it's really easy to eat with like crudité, crackers, chips, like whatever you kind of have, and it could be a snack. It could be a meal if you had enough components to the dish, and it could even be a sauce or a side or something like that. So that's number 1, we're gonna make the hummus. Number 2 is gonna be a garlicky sauce that I put on literally everything. It's amazing on salad, it's amazing on quinoa, rice, grains, beans, anything you're eating, you could throw it on top and turn it into like a grain bowl. It's so delicious. That's a recipe from the blog, and it just makes it easier for me to prep having that sauce ready to go because it makes it more likely that I'm gonna eat like raw, fresh salads when I have a dressing like that that's already made. And then the last thing we're gonna make is a garlic chili crisp / oil. It's kind of a lazy, easy version, but I love using it to cook anything that I would normally cook with oil. So if I'm stir frying some tofu or tofu scramble, instead of using a conventional oil, I'll use the chili garlic oil for so much more flavor. And it's super easy to make, so I like to make a batch like every week or every week and a half or so because I go through that shit really quick. Everything we're gonna be making today is really easy to put together. They will all be linked down below. If there's a recipe for it, it'll be on my blog. If not, it'll just be something that I'm like verbally sharing, like the hummus, for example, or the chili oil. You'll see what I mean. Anyway, let's get cooking. We're gonna hang out and prep some food. So the first thing we're gonna make is a garlic chili crisp. This is kind of like a very pared down, simplified, lazy girl version of the recipe that I have up on my blog, which I would love to make, but to be honest, don't think it's necessary to do all the steps because I use this as an ingredient versus like a finished product. I don't like to add too much to it, but you could take it to like whatever level you'd like. Really easy to make. To start, we're gonna chop some garlic up and we wanna really finely dice it. So smaller the better because you'll get more flavor out of the garlic, but also you want the garlic to fry up pretty evenly. So try to keep your pieces as uniform as you can. I think I'm gonna use about 3 cloves of garlic here. And like I said, the smaller the pieces, the more well cooked through they will be. The last thing you want is like a big raw piece of garlic in your chili crisp and everything else is cooked well. Now we're gonna heat up the oil. For this, you wanna make sure that you use a neutral high heat oil. So I'm using sunflower oil. You could use avocado oil or something like that, but make sure that it's something that can withstand high heat because if not, your pan's gonna burn, your oil's gonna smoke, and it's just not gonna be a good time. Be very careful when you're working with hot oil, by the way. To do this, it's pretty simple. All you're gonna do is heat up a little bit of oil in a pan. I'm actually running low today. I like to use about like 1/4 to a 1/2 cup, depending on what size batch I'm making. My gas stove has decided to die, so we're gonna put that over on the regular stove. And while we wait for that, we're gonna just prep the bowl. So I'm putting the chopped garlic into a small heat-safe bowl. Make sure it's heat-safe so that the bowl doesn't explode when you add the hot oil. And then we're adding all the garlic that we just chopped right into that bowl. Next, we're gonna use some chili flakes. I'm using gochugaru, which is a Korean chili flake, but you could use any chili flakes you'd like. You could use Sichuan peppercorns, you could use Sichuan chilies, you could use dry Thai chilies, you could use red pepper flakes like the type that you'd put on pizza. It's totally up to you. Aleppo pepper flakes also work really nicely, but I love gochujang because it has a really nice flavor, I think, with garlic especially. I'm gonna use like a tablespoon, maybe a tablespoon and a half, and add it into that same bowl. And now the fun part, we're gonna add the hot oil to the bowl. And then you can give it a little stir just to make sure everything gets in contact with the oil. And we'll let that sit on the side for a little bit. Next up, we're gonna make hummus. Everyone likes their hummus a little differently, I feel. So I don't even follow a recipe myself, but I'll show you kind of the steps that I do. And you guys can just like measure with your heart. And by that, I mean taste the food you're making, because as soon as you learn to adjust to taste, I think that's when you start to feel really confident in the kitchen and you can cook just about anything and make sure that it turns out good. Sometimes it's like the tiniest bit of acid, like lemon juice or extra salt, that can really change how everything tastes. So don't be afraid to experiment. Start with less, add more as you go. Hummus is such an easy one because you could just keep blending it to adjust the taste. So we're obviously gonna be using chickpeas for this. I actually like to start with a little bit of aquafaba in there to help get things going. And then I'm gonna add the juice of a lemon. I like a whole lemon. I might end up adding a little bit more because I really like lemon, but this is sort of like our base blending liquid, just to give the garlic a little bit of a head start to get blended. Now, with the garlic especially, you wanna be really careful, because even though usually I would say it's difficult to add too much garlic to something, when you're working with raw garlic, it's a completely different story. Raw garlic, let me tell you, it just can overtake the entire dish. And I've made hummus batches where I've added too much garlic. It kills it. It's really tough to eat and you smell like just garlic is oozing out of your pores. So be mindful. Okay, we're gonna start with the aquafaba, the lemon juice, 1 lemon so far. And I'm gonna shake up this tahini. I'm gonna add maybe like, I don't know, like a 1/4 cup of that or so. And then I'm also gonna add the garlic. So we're just kind of making a little bit of a liquid base to make it easier to blend up the garlic to start. What I'm actually gonna do is microplane in the garlic. You just need to be careful, because the more finely you grate or chop your garlic, the more intense the flavor is gonna be. So I'm not kidding, we're gonna start with 1/2 clove of garlic. I almost never use this little garlic, but you just really wanna be careful not to ruin your hummus before it's even ready. So we got like 1/2 clove of garlic in there. We've got tahini, lemon juice, aquafaba, which is just the liquid from a can of chickpeas. And we're gonna food process this alone first. Okay, we're gonna keep adding now. It should be nice and like whipped, especially the tahini will kind of get fluffy. And just make sure there aren't any like giant chunks of garlic. If so, you can scrape down the sides. Now we're gonna add drained chickpeas, but I'm gonna save this liquid because aquafaba is precious. You can use aquafaba for baking, especially vegan baking, in place of egg whites and make like meringue. It's pretty incredible stuff. So sometimes I literally buy a can of chickpeas just for the sake of the aquafaba. We're gonna add about 1 can. You know what, we might as well make 2 cans of chickpeas worth of hummus, because I have 2 open and then it'll last me a little longer. Okay, 2 cans of chickpeas. Now we're gonna blend this. Take a second in between to pause and just like help scrape things down. This is a bigger batch, so I'm gonna add a little bit more aquafaba because I only added enough for 1 batch. So I'm just gonna take a spatula and scrape the sides down, because some of the chunks tend to get stuck on the side. And now we're gonna blend again. This time we're gonna stream in some cold water. And I'm also gonna throw in some ice cubes, not about 2 ice cubes, and then we'll stream water in. Okay, at this point, your mixture should be getting a lot more fluffy. Let me show you how it looks. So it's gonna look something like this. And I'm gonna give it like a little taste just to see where we're at right now. That needs a little more garlic, a little bit more lemon, and definitely salt. So we're really just adjusting to taste here. It's easy when you do it this way. Start with less, and you can always add more. And then a little more garlic. All right, now we're gonna whip together one more time. And then to finish, we'll stream in the olive oil. I forgot to add the salt. Pause. Let's scrape the sides down as well while we're here. I'm just using kosher salt. Don't be afraid to be generous, because salt really helps to bring out the flavors in any dish. Okay. Now this time we're gonna drizzle in olive oil. Okay, now we taste and we should be good to go. Let's see how it is. It's perfect. And if it's not perfect, don't be afraid. Keep going until it tastes exactly the way you want it. We're gonna finish this with a little drizzle of olive oil. Just like that. You could also use the chili oil, that would be delicious. And a little bit of smoked paprika on top. Sumac is also really nice, cumin, whatever you like. That's our hummus. The last recipe we're gonna make is just a very simple garlicky sauce. It's got garlic, tahini, parsley, some lemon juice, and it's really easy to make. So let's begin. To start, we're gonna need hemp seeds, and I like to use about a cup. You could also use sunflower seeds if you like. And this is actually a recipe inspired by Cafe Gratitude because they have this incredible bowl that I'm obsessed with, the Grateful Bowl, and they use this sauce on it. And an employee who used to work there kind of gave me the breakdown of like what's in it. So I was able to experiment to figure it out. And here we have this magical sauce. It's so dreamy. Might have been a little bit more than half cup tahini, but we're eyeballing everything. Then we're gonna do about a quarter cup of fresh lemon juice. And you can always adjust this just like with the other recipe. Then we're adding about a half cup of filtered water just to help get things blending. Add less and you could always add more. Then we're gonna add about a third cup of parsley. Crazy thing is, I'm not a big parsley girl, typically, because for some reason I find that when I eat too much parsley at a time, it actually kind of tastes like cilantro. So I don't like to go too heavy on this, but you can certainly pack in more if you like, because it's so good for you. We're also drizzling in some olive oil. It's optional, you could make this sauce oil-free if you want, because the tahini has really nice amount of healthy fat, but I always like to add it for just extra flavor and creaminess. Salt, and that's literally it. Easiest, most delicious sauce there is. Oh no, we're missing garlic. That's what we're missing. Like I said when we made the hummus, be careful not to add too much garlic, because even if you are a garlic girl, and comment down below if you are a garlic girl, you can easily overpower your entire dish and ruin this sauce. So start with less and add more. And I'm just grating it in because it helps to avoid any big chunks in the sauce. Doing this is just like an extra helpful step, because even though the blender is really powerful, sometimes little chunks kind of hang around. So I think we'll start with 1 clove again. And I think we're gonna add a little more water. Yum, let's try it. Good. We need more garlic and more salt. And we'll add our 2nd clove of garlic. One more taste. It's perfection. Oh my God. Ah, so good. You have to make this sauce, guys, okay? I'm telling you. Then we're just gonna transfer the cooled chili oil to an airtight container so we can use this throughout the week for cooking and adding extra flavor. It's so good on noodles, like literally everything. Dumplings, tofu, oh my God, I'm so excited. I like to add just a tiny bit of sesame oil, but you don't have to. And that's it for our chili oil. And last but not least, we have our garlic sauce here prepped and ready to go. So that is it. All right, so we have our hummus, our green sauce prepped, our chili oil, and then also crudité. It's really nice to just spend like a couple minutes prepping veggies to have them cut up too, because it makes it more likely that you'll end up eating them when they're ready to go. Let's try our hummus. I'm so excited. That is so good. I also actually really enjoy this garlic sauce as like a dip too. So if you make it a little bit thicker, it's really good with veggies. I was just eating some with carrots earlier. It's so good. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I am so happy that I did this prep for the week. Really excited. I feel like it just makes cooking and eating healthy a lot easier to have even part of your cooking prepped in advance. So it's kind of a fun little shortcut, especially if you're not a fan of traditional meal prep. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of that, so I find this to be the best thing for me most of the time. And like I said, all the recipes will be listed below. And if you need any inspiration for like grocery shopping and how to set yourself up for the week, I will also link my free grocery guide that's downloadable and printable in the description box as well. Okay, let me know if you like this video and if you want to see another one, because I guarantee this fixation is going to switch up by like the next month or so. So let me know, and I will see you in another video soon. Bye.